What's up, everybody? We're back yet again with the Sideline Specialist episode number 28. We're talking, unfortunately, Tank Dell and some NFL injuries. We're looking into the NFL playoff picture. We're talking Kirk Cousins and maybe some landing destinations for him, Michael Penix and his first game with Atlanta, and plenty more to talk about, especially with the Christmas Day games coming up. So let's jump into things.
Welcome to Sideline Specialists.
There it is. I was waiting for the beat drop. What's going on, Tom? What's up? What's up? What's up?
So I got the Penn State hat on because obviously they had themselves a pretty much flawless game.
This is true.
And I got to represent. So, yeah, we're chilling. I've dropped like 60 plus hours into a game I discovered over the last week.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's been my week almost. It's literally been work and that game, and it's been a good time.
What game?
It's Arena Breakout Infinite. It's like Escape from Tarkov, essentially, like looter shooter, go into a map. If you die in the raid, you lose all your gear. It's fun as hell. And the community's cool. Like I went into it literally not knowing anybody, and I've probably got like 20 people on my friends list that I've been playing with now. So
that's
pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's sick. It's the kind of thing you want in games, like to go in and be able to find people that you can play with. So
right. That was always, that's a big reason why I played Destiny 2 as long as I did and still do, because I just met so many people off of it.
Exactly.
Actually, fun fact, for those that don't know, I did go to the Eagles-Steelers game last week, and the tickets I got from that were actually from guys in our Destiny clan. I met them for the first time after knowing them for years on PlayStation. Met them for the first time because the one guy is pretty high up in, I forget exactly which one it is. I'm pretty sure it's Dietz and Watson, but like they're pretty high up in there, and he gets box seats and all sorts of things. And so he brought Warren and I along to a game. We got to go down on the field. That was really fucking cool.
You got to meet Jason Avant, and I fucking hate you for that.
Yes, we also got to meet Jason Avant. Jason Avant was a really cool dude. It was funny because somebody like couldn't figure out something to do with their phone, and he started fixing their phone for him. And the one guy was like, "He does IT too. What can he not do?"
He recovers Michigan flags that were planted at Ohio State center field.
Exactly.
He doesn't drop passes ever. Legend.
So yeah, he was really cool. The whole experience was just really cool all around. But yeah, it was a fun time. But I just had to bring that up because we were just talking about,
well, and it makes sense because we missed that week. So
yeah, exactly. I am just now seeing Embiid apparently got ejected.
What? Hold up. This season can just fuck off, man. What is going on? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, he got hit with 2 tacks and he got ejected. Offensive foul. Oh, that's soft as fuck, too.
All right, here I can actually share it. I have a clip of it right here.
I'm watching the clip. He must say something. Yeah.
All right, let me restart that.
And Embiid's got to be careful here. Yeah, he just barreled right into him.
And he's mad as she just teed up Joel Embiid. Embiid's hot, and she just threw out Joel Embiid. What is going on? And Nick Nurse. Wow. We'll be right back.
Very much so.
That's it.
I mean, let's just keep it straight. He needs to know way the fuck better than that.
I mean, he definitely needs to know to stop, but like,
but let's be real. He's been in the league how long? I mean, we're talking. He was drafted 10 fucking years ago. You don't get in a ref's face like that and keep going and going and going. Is the initial contact like a weird fucking awkward play? Because he's not in the paint. He's way the fuck outside. Not really set.
yeah.
So let's be realistic. It probably is like a blocking foul, but you got to know better. And if you're Embiid too, like you've missed so many fucking games from a bunch of shit. You're fine. You're actually on the floor. You need to give the team what you can give. And just know when to stop. I know he's heated. Probably, obviously, this is the most frustrating season of his life, really, because he just wants to play. But Jesus Christ!
But so I'm also seeing apparently this same ref ejected Andre Drummond earlier in the game.
Oh, lovely! So they're just here to eject Sixers. That's good.
But then he got reinstated.
How does that even happen?
I have no clue.
That's not a thing that ever fucking existed.
I have never seen someone get reinstated in a game. Hold on, I have a clip for this too.
That's not a thing.
I have no clue what's going on.
What the actual shit?
Andre Drummond, you could see that he looked like he's going to rip his jersey off.
Drummond's going to come walking out. This crowd's going to
like
erupt.
Willis Reed.
Yep, here he is. Left of your screen. There it is. New Jersey.
Because he ripped the first one? Fuck yeah.
And she was on top of it.
On top of fucking what?
I just think their feet got
on top of an imaginary dick she thought she was riding?
Drummond, you could see that he looked like...
Is that comment fucked up? I don't care. Nothing happens on this clip. What is she on top of?
I just think their feet got tangled up.
Brother?
I could see...
What is she looking at that she ejected a human being for that? Holy fuck. No way, bro. Get out of here.
What?
Get out of here.
So this ref, I don't know. I don't know what this ref is doing. I have no clue. I'm so confused.
Bro, I cannot actually yeah, okay. The Embiid one is what it is, right?
Right.
You get in a
he
ref...
definitely shouldn't have gotten in their face.
But here's the facts. I guess I honestly, now that I've seen the Drummond thing, I think he's literally probably interfaced that much because of that whole situation, right?
Right.
So it clocks in my head a little bit more after seeing that, because literally nothing happened and she ejected. So like, are we serious? That is the shittiest clip of NBA basketball I've ever seen in my life as far as a referee interaction. That's insanity to eject a human being because Wembanyama fell over because he tripped. Are we serious?
The dude is 7'4", so like obviously he's gonna be lanky and trip over stuff. But to eject him for that originally,
and just hearing the announcer saying she's on top of it, literally on top of what? Like, please tell me. Exactly. I need to know what she's on top of. I'm lost. Holy shit! What was that, man? My mind is broken from that all of that. That's insane.
Literally, I just saw like 50 more videos that says this has to be the worst ref call in the history of ref calls for the Drummond one.
Literally. Nothing happened. His arms were at his sides. It's not like he threw elbows. He didn't even touch him.
No.
Like, holy shit. On top of what? Where's the fucking like where's the union of refs that's going to be like, yeah, you suck at your job. You're fired. Where are they? Because that needs to be sent to them immediately. I'm trying to like not say hot takes. I'm really refraining. I've said some wild shit already, but I'm refraining. Trust me. I have plenty. I could just fire off, but I'm trying to actually keep this podcast going.
This is just insane. I did not expect to, because like I've only had the game on in the background, and I tuned into the game like close to the end of the first half. So obviously I missed all this.
Yeah, but geez, like, but it's like you wouldn't even think you did miss that because that's never a thing that should happen, right? So it's like it's not going to be in your head to even consider it because what the shit was that?
Exactly. But on top of that, to do all of that in the first quarter, like what?
She just came in pissed off about something, bro. Like, good lord.
Exactly.
Like, what the fuck is happening? I know we're a football podcast, but we love the Sixers, and they've just been going through some things, and we don't need this shit either. Like, this is just like we already got enough issues. So,
Sixers have shoot themselves in the foot every single season. They don't need to
have somebody else show up with a gun and do it for them.
Right. They don't need help.
Exactly. But they're getting it, and it's ridiculous.
Even the Sixers account just put up the video of Drummond walking back out to the court.
Well, I love the commentator. What the commentator said this crowd's going to erupt. It's like, and they should.
Yeah.
Because he should have never been sent off in the first place. Just ridiculous. This is the NBA fucking refereeing is so goddamn soft, man. I hate it. Like I watch games on my iPad on mute when I'm doing other shit because I don't want to get that invested because it just so much random weak shit happens. And it's just like I don't get it. They're grown-ass men. Grown-ass men get physical. Every other sport allows a degree of physicality. Why is it literally so fucking like vilified?
I have no clue.
You know what I mean? But you know what I mean too. Like,
oh yeah, the NBA. I literally think that the head office of the NBA, not just Adam Silver, but everyone there, literally just has constant nightmares of Malice at the Palace. So anything that gets even like a sniff within that, they're just like, nope, shut the whole thing down.
Yeah, and that pisses me off because I'm like, yes, Malice at the Palace was crazy because fans ended up involved. And that's obviously like never what you want. Right. But I think about it like if it had stayed only players, is fighting to be like commended in that arena? No, but like we have that we're human beings. It's literally like our nature. And to a sense, right, is to like defend your friends, your teammates, whoever. Like, I mean, I look at hockey. It's like the rookie gets hit, and then 10 seconds later, two dudes have their gloves off, and they're literally beating the fuck out of each other.
Right.
Period. So, and then you have the UFC, you've got Bellator, you have all the MMA arenas. Like, it's not like this is some crazy outlandish thing in athletics. Like, it's not. So in the NBA, it's like a dude gets touched in the nose, and then it turns into just this sissy fest. Like Embiid's the rare case where he actually had a fractured, like, no, like it's fractured in there.
Yeah, right.
But a lot of these times you just see all this like soft shit, and the refs are just like they're blowing whistles on nothing. Every game, every day, and it's just frustrating.
And I honestly do really think if the NBA adopted something along the lines of hockey, where it's like if you just let them, throw a couple punches and then either do a whole penalty box situation or just say, okay, you threw a couple punches, now you're ejected for this game, but you can come back the next game. I feel like boom, it'll just be done. Instead, you're like holding people back. People get pissed off even more because they can't like go fight this guy, and the other guy's still talking shit and chirping him. And even then, some people go to square up for a fight and they miss the punch by a mile. Like they can't even fight, so it doesn't even matter in the first place.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
if you allowed it to a certain extent, I feel like at that point you would finally get less flopping.
And that's what I mean. That's the biggest issue is like you have the flopping because the system is what it is, and there's players that literally know how to exploit it, and Beat is one of them. We will freely say that. We will freely say that on this podcast because he knows what is a foul and what isn't.
Right.
And he utilizes that because that's how the game is now. And it's shitty that the game is that way because it should be all about he is a huge motherfucker who is strong, and he should be allowed to use that to his advantage, but he can't. And then even in that situation when he bumps into Wembanyama, it's like, that's not a charge, bro. He's not in the restricted area. He's almost at the 3-point line, and his feet aren't set. There's no universe where that's a fucking offensive foul. The defender is in a shitty position, and he got exploited for it because of the way the game is today.
Right.
And then he gets ejected for it because he's telling the ref that she's shit at her job, which would, given the context of the Drummond ejection and then reinstation, which what the fuck, it makes so much more sense.
Which, I've still never seen before
Ever
in an NBA game ever.
My mind is blown by that. I have not been fully invested in the NBA for that like a super long time. I've always been hockey and football first.
Right.
I've never seen that. It literally almost in any sport, honestly. Like you're ejected. I've never seen in baseball get ejected and come back. I've never seen it in football. I've never seen it in hockey. Like in hockey, you get a game misconduct, just go fucking enjoy your seat in the locker room and watch the game, period. You're not coming back. There's no way. So that's insanity. That's actually insanity. We will get to football eventually for all of those who are listening, but we've never seen anything like this. And it just happens to be our favorite team. So we're like, we're just shook right now.
And a post here from Justin Grasso, reporting and managing editor for the Sixers at Sports Illustrated, just said, just a wild night for Sixers bigs versus Spurs. Andre Drummond ejected, then told to return. Joel Embiid ejected. Now Andre Drummond is ruled out due to a big toe contusion.
That is, oh my God, please just put a fucking wrap on your big toe, Andre, and play the goddamn game. No way you are just like, nah, my big toe hurt too much. I got to sit down. Come on. What the fuck is this?
I literally just quoted it, and I said the Sixers can never be serious.
What the fuck is this shit, man?
Oh my God, dude.
All right, Yabusele is got a fucking ball now because Jesus Christ, this is a disaster.
Oh my God.
It's just, my brain can't actually, I can't handle this right now. This is too much bullshit at once. What is happening?
One of the other Sixers fans, when I said, like, I just tuned in and missed this. What is going on? He goes, chaos. I'm like, I'm going to have to rewind and watch this again. He goes, pour yourself a shot.
Put on a tactical vest and just lock in, dude. This is going to be a ride.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Anyway, let's get to some football.
Holy shit.
Oh, Lord.
I wasn't ready for this, man. I wasn't ready.
I wasn't either. This is not where I thought this week's episode was going to go.
We had no idea what was going on.
I was sick for 1 week. Like, what the fuck? Oh my God. Anyway, before we jump into the full week 16 reactions, I did want to talk about the whole Atlanta situation because we only touched on it a little bit last week or 2 weeks ago. And so Kirk Cousins now is expected to be released by the Falcons.
I have to immediately just quote my friend from work on this because it was so funny. He just goes, he told me this on like Friday, and he just goes, "Dude's ass isn't even going to touch the bench, and he's going to get released." I was just like, "That's so perfect."
I mean, he definitely called that one.
Oh, he nailed it. I can't blame the Falcons because the position they're in, it kind of makes sense to me to do this because you think about it. You just drafted Penix, so he's on his rookie deal, and I know he's a high pick, but he's still on a rookie deal. London's still young, Bijan's still young. You just signed Mooney, and it wasn't that insane amount of money, but you know he's going to be here for a good amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to take a dead cap hit, you do it as soon as possible because there is a deadline coming up too where Cousins would get another $10 million guaranteed. So if you're going to just decide now, it was a mistake to sign him, do it now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why? And we see franchises hesitate all the time and with making moves that really need to be made. This is one I think they should really do. I think Kirk is old. He's been through some injuries. You have a young QB surrounded by young talent. I think you just say, let's build. Let's build on that.
Right.
And to be fair, like Penix's first game was against a defense that doesn't completely suck dick. So
true. But also this is the whole reason that when they drafted Penix, you and I were like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Because we knew the moment Kirk Cousins wasn't performing up to expectations, the whole sentiment was going to turn to why isn't Penix playing?
Yeah.
And
but it makes so much more sense now. But then you see how the season played out. Like they had a good record and then they bombed. Like they bombed bad.
Like in that first 6-7-ish games, there was the one game where fucking Cousins had 5 touchdowns and like 500 yards.
Yeah.
And then it looked like Kyle Pitts was finally turning into something along the lines of what people expected him to be. Drake London was playing well, all that type of stuff. And so I do agree that like they looked like they would be okay. But you knew also like the defense was taking a little bit of time to gel. The defense honestly looks a little bit better now than they did in the beginning, and the offense went the other way. But the one thing I do have to say is Kyle Pitts, man. What happened with Kyle Pitts is my biggest question, because I don't know if I've ever seen somebody go from the expected like renaissance of an entire position to somebody that can't even catch a single ball.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of things. I think their offensive play calling can obviously be questioned because how do you go from like you were leading the division pretty easily, right? And then and then the one team that was really a threat to you was like insanely injured, but they're still hanging tight. And even when I look at this, I looked at the standings briefly. Like if I go to the NFC South, the Falcons have 327 points scored, 349 given up. They have a minus 22 differential. Tampa has 427 points scored. They have 100 more points scored than the Falcons and only 3 more points given up. They have a plus 75, but they're tied. It's insane.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But if you literally have to sit here and say who's the better team, there is no living person with a brain that's functioning properly that is going to say the Falcons. The answer is the Buccaneers, period. And if the Bucs had not lost Chris Godwin, we would not be sitting here worried about who's going to win this division. Because the fact is, if Atlanta somehow sneaks the division win here, that's worse for the NFC playoff situation because they're not good enough. Unless Penix improves that insanely in the last, like, what, 2 games? So,
Right.
and I want Baker to make it. I really do.
I do too.
I'm fully, yeah.
And I like Mike Evans. Like,
So do I.
I like Bucky Irving. Like,
but like, if there's just these players, and I've talked about this, like why I own certain jerseys and why I always like do these sorts of things. If there's a player to support in the NFL for just who he is off the field, it's Baker. Like, he's just a good dude. And he was vilified by a franchise who hasn't seen success since fucking ever. So they can suck one. He's out here balling, and the rest of the team needs to step up. So that division is rough. Carolina won again. Arizona did what Arizona always does for us to disappoint. I was hyped, though. I'm not going to lie. I was hyped when Carolina won that game. I was like, fuck yeah.
I at that point, I enjoyed it. I mean,
I was like, let's go, Bryce Young. Let's get them W's.
The only thing that annoyed me about that game is it was the first time that Kyler decided to not throw it to Trey McBride.
And yeah, what the fuck was that decision, by the way?
Exactly. Like, dude, like, if there is anyone right now in the NFL that deserves a fucking touchdown, it's Trey McBride. He doesn't have a single touchdown on the season.
He is literally Miles Sanders from like 4 years ago with the Eagles, where he had like 1,000 yards rushing and he could not find the end zone. That's like, I followed it so much this year. And it's so funny too, because this one page I follow on Facebook, every week, or like every weekend, he always posts like a 3-leg parlay.
Right.
That he's like, do this. And he included Trey McBride this week. And I never comment on shit, but I commented on it. I'm like, you must not understand the Arizona Cardinals. Like, they just, even when every brain cell tells you to throw to Trey McBride in the end zone, they will not fucking do it.
No.
It doesn't matter.
His only touchdown on the year was a rushing touchdown in week 9 against the Bears.
It's insane because they're the only team. This is crazy too. They are the only team in the NFC West with a plus differential, and it's +2. They have scored 2 more points than they've given up, but they're the only team with a plus. And you just, like, when you look at every other division minus the NFC South and the NFC West,
right,
the plus minus sort of makes sense. In the case of the NFC North is where it gets like shaky again, obviously. Pittsburgh's a +54, but they've given up the least points by a mile. And then Baltimore is a +103 because they've scored the most by a mile, but they've given up obviously more because their passing defense is sus. And but like, usually you can look at that stat and you can understand kind of what's going on. This is a weird year for that. But like the NFC East, the Eagles are the highest. They have a +119. They lost this week, and all the Commanders posts that I've seen saying, "Oh, cry Eagles, cry." It's like, if Jalen Hurts stayed in that game, y'all wouldn't be saying a fucking thing, because homie had 40 yards rushing on like 7 plays. So shut the fuck up. You guys are going to get absolutely wiped if you do make the playoffs by whoever you play. Shut up.
And
thank you.
Obviously I'm a huge Kenny fan because of Pitt, but like, Kenny is nowhere close to Jalen Hurts. Like, come on.
Not at all. And we know that. Like, most of the yardage that the Eagles acquired on drives that allowed them to be in field goal range was on pass interference calls. It was not on anything that was actually done by Kenny Pickett. And it's frustrating for me because the game was within reach still. If Devontae catches that ball, the game's over.
Yeah.
And he knows it, and he's owned up to it, which is why we love him, because we don't want players that bitch out of shit. We want players that take accountability, same as the Ravens. And he did. So all is forgiven from my point of view because he knows exactly what went wrong.
Mhm.
And that's it. But I'm just sitting here, I'm looking at this playoff situation, right? So at the moment we have the Rams leading the West. We have the Falcons and Bucks completely fully tied. We have Lions and Vikings tied now, which is I'm loving that. That's spicy. I love that. And then we got Eagles still ahead if they beat either the Giants or the Cowboys. Division's theirs, period. The 1 seed's a little harder to get now, unless. But here's the problem too: is like if you look at the last game for the Lions is the Vikings, and obviously vice versa there. So literally one of them, unless they lose before that, is going to have 2 losses. And that's why, like the Eagles, I'm like, just accept, like as an Eagles fan, I'm like, we're not getting the bye. We're going to have some work to do. But if we can be like the Phillies of 2022, go in there, beat a team, be hot, go into whoever you're facing in the divisional and just keep it rolling.
Right.
And same for the Ravens, right? Like they're still competing for this division. Obviously, the Steelers losing and Ravens winning, massive playoff implications there. So I love it. AFC
and
North
nice
is always spice.
That one win clinched them a playoff spot. So
yeah. And we know what the Ravens are. They're an offensive absolute powerhouse. Run defense wise, they're very good. Pass defense, they have issues, and that is how it is. So
right.
I think somebody signed Deontay Johnson today. Somebody signed. And that, okay. They need to sit him in a fucking room with D'Amico Ryans, and D'Amico needs to put the fear of God in that man and tell him to grow the fuck up and understand that he has a chance to make enough money for life playing this game and stop acting like a goddamn diva. Because I don't understand what happened in Baltimore, but it was definitely not on anybody that was there before he got there. It's all on him. Like you go from Baltimore or you go from Carolina to Baltimore, you should be jumping through hoops to make sure that you are in on as many plays as possible contributing. And he clearly was not doing that. He quit on the team, which is embarrassing because you have Lamar as your fucking QB. Come on, brother.
And like they were looking for a reason to not have to rely on Nelson Aguilar as their third receiver.
Yeah. And realistically, Deontay Johnson is a clear upgrade on that. Nelson is not young anymore. He's been in the league 10 years, just about, maybe 9 or 8. So it's like Bateman stepped up this year. Obviously, you have a good tight end duo. Zay Flowers is a stud. And you have Henry in the backfield. Obviously, Justice Hill got knocked the fuck out in that game. All right. So I have a coworker named Jack. We were watching that because we didn't have any tables at the time. We were watching that, saw it, and literally every bit of air in my lungs went out of me because I was like, either he's just unconscious or homie just got his neck broken like Jason Street in Friday Night Lights.
Right.
Because he landed so awkward and I felt sick. And then
that ragdoll effect was just crazy.
Insane. Yeah. That was like, it was instant. Like the first contact with the ground knocked him out and his body just was limp. And I was so scared.
Yeah.
Like the feeling of relief when I saw the camera go to him walking off the field is something I literally cannot describe. Because this is like what we love about sports is the competitiveness, but seeing shit like that is just, oh boy, Christian Watson just got hurt.
Uh-oh.
As we're saying this.
Yeah, seriously.
Receiver just went like I don't know what receiver it was, went to help him up, like offered him his hand, and he was like, no.
Oh, jeez.
Oh boy, they're showing it in slow-mo too. ESPN, you know better than this, man.
Lower body?
Oh, It's his left leg.
Ooh.
It was after the tackle. He's like sliding on his back, and then one of the Saints players falls on his leg because they were all kind of falling down.
Uh-huh.
Like it's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
And it was like clearly not intentional. Literally, it was just like incidental. But he like instantly reaches for his leg when he's still sliding. Like he just knew immediately. So I think that's a sign.
I hate that.
Fuck, man.
I did want to bring up that there was 2 videos that came out of the Ravens win that I just think they were pretty funny. One was this one. Marlon Humphrey was presented with one of the game balls from Harbaugh for his performance, and his speech was literally, I was just like, was this supposed to pump anybody up?
Oh God.
How about for Marlon Humphrey's son? Yes, how about that? Marlon Humphrey's son. He's gonna know this, man. He's gonna know this. That's his.
Thursday. I'm like, dang, my bag's tight. You know, I slept on the couch at the hospital. You know, wifey. I come out there and I see Johnny, and you know, he's like, you didn't even realize what's on the football. And I was like, the Duke. And I was like, I didn't notice that. And then my fan was in town. It was all like, you get to celebrate, you get a pick 6, you got to rock the baby. I did not rock the baby, but I appreciate you guys for coming in, taking care of business, bro. Enjoy this for a little bit, and then let's move on. Keep doing what we do, man. I love being on this team because we take care of business when business needs to be taken care of.
I was just like it was cool because he did have his child, but
yeah, I like the ending, but it's not like the level of hype. It's not like the hype level you would think. You know what I mean? Like that's yeah. Like I get it from him because obviously it's like, yeah, okay, you had a kid. That's probably gonna trump everything. But like, give me that energy, dude. And let's look forward. Let's take care of business. Like,
yeah, I know. And
I don't know.
He's such a goofy dude that like I can't take anything he says seriously.
And
especially
he's spoken too. So it like
right. Especially on his podcast, he'll just start like going off on these random tangents that I'm just like, he's not even talking about football anymore. Like, what is he talking about? And then the other thing was this meme here from Game Face Sports 88 on Instagram.
Oh God, is it an image? Because that would be funny.
No, it's a video, and I love these edits. These edits are fucking hilarious every time.
His own end zone.
Oh shit.
King from his 31.
Photosynthesis.
Crazy tackle. Desmond King.
No, it's my turn.
Who's going to get?
Mr. Unlimited. You're not that guy, I'll trust me. You're not that guy.
Inside the
Did somebody say boom?
I saw this shit live too, and I was like, no way he fumbled that.
Jackson to Henry.
Not the steam train horns.
2 seconds later.
Here, what's this?
Broncos country, let's ride.
God damn it, not that. Anything with that.
Get some cold cuts.
Broncos country.
Let's ride.
All right, look, whoever's making those is living a good life.
Dude,
They're
I
vibing
know.
Every day doing that.
They're
Come on
so
now.
good.
Who?
It makes me want to start making some similar to it, but I don't want to like take people's style, so I have to figure out how to make something of it myself too. But
bro, a guy just all right. I have to say this because it's crazy. The Packers' third touchdown was scored by a gentleman named Chris Brooks, who has 22 carries on the year for 101 yards.
Is that their
Wow.
fullback?
He's somebody. Let me see. What is the listed position for this individual? Probably 6'1", 220. He's a big boy.
That is a big boy.
I don't know, but I just noticed that. I was like on the game cast and it just said C. Brooks up the middle. I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah, if I just saw C. Brooks, I'd be like, wait, what?
It's like, why is it not Jacobs? Why is
Right.
Jacobs not just getting handed the ball to run a yard?
That's why I was like, that has to be a fullback. But as long as Tucker Kraft doesn't go off, I'm fine with that. I'm in a semifinal fantasy game. I'm up by 30.
Okay. All right. He hasn't gone off like that. He's got 3
Yeah.
catches for 63, though. He's leading the team in receiving yards at the moment. But no,
I can't have him get like 3 touchdowns and 200 yards like a Jamar Chase game.
Brother, he ain't doing that. I promise you that. That ain't happening.
Thank God.
Yeah, no, that is not a thing that will be occurring on this day. So fear not. But yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the Ravens game, I mean, I didn't get to see the whole thing because we were out for our friend's birthday, but in general, huge win for them. It was the first time Lamar actually played at home against the Steelers since COVID, and there were no fans there. So that was a big difference for him against the Steelers in general. And Mark Andrews' first ever touchdown against the Steelers. So that was also big for them. But looking through some of like what happened from last week, I mean, I should say still this week. The Chargers Broncos game was actually pretty insane. It really looked like Denver was going to run away with that game. And the fact that the Chargers in the second half just really took over and Justin Herbert really did his thing against the Denver defense was incredible for Herbert. But it really looked like Bo Nix was going to come in there and just destroy the Chargers at first, especially because the Denver defense was like really doing well in that first half. And it just completely changed in that second half with Herbert. Ended up almost 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Gus Edwards even had 2 touchdowns. And Ladd McConkey wasn't even the one to score any of the receiving touchdowns. It was fucking Hassan Haskins and Darius Davis, because everyone had them on their fantasy teams. So that game to me was honestly one of the best games of the week. And
come on, bro.
And then
No way.
The Falcons beating the Giants that was pretty obvious. The Detroit Bears game was pretty good. I mean, Jameson Williams getting 143 yards, especially grabbing that 82-yard touchdown was pretty ridiculous. Cleveland, I just don't understand what Cleveland is doing, because at this point, why even try Dorius Thompson-Robinson? I don't understand what Cleveland is doing at all. You can still throw Jameis Winston in there and try to get some different things in terms of, whether it's a better pick, whether it's winning games, whatever you really want to do, Jameis Winston can help you do either one. Because Jameis Winston can help you win a game, but he can also throw 3 pick sixes and lose you a game. So I also feel like Dorian Thompson-Robinson's first shot at starting game should have told you he's not that guy. So the fact that they're trying him again makes me think that Cleveland just loves losing. And now you have Myles Garrett kind of teasing that he might be asking for a trade, because he said he's not staying there for a rebuild. And if you still have Watson under contract and they're not releasing him because that dead cap hit would be insane. So, like, really, there's not much else for Cleveland to do other than rebuild, especially because you do have a lot of guys that really aren't that young. I mean, Nick Chubb, like, I really hate that he got hurt again, but
Same.
like, we know Nick Chubb isn't anybody that's going to be around for that much longer, especially with Cleveland. Jerry Jeudy now is like your youngest at receiver and like youngest leader, I should say, at receiver. Other than that, you have like Cedric Tillman. Elijah Moore is still pretty young, but he's also like a third receiver at best. Njoku is probably like your next best young talent. And on the defensive side of the ball, like the defense has been good for so many years now, but none of those guys are getting younger. So it is at a point where if you're going to restart with a rookie quarterback, by the time that rookie quarterback gets good enough to be a, like, let's just say top 16 quarterback in the league, the rest of those guys will be too old. So I just don't really understand what Cleveland's doing. I kind of hope Myles Garrett does get out of there and we see him with a team that actually can compete, because that would be way more fun than seeing him on the fucking Cleveland Browns. But I'm not going to believe it until I see it if they actually trade him. So that game against the Bengals was just absolutely terrible. Like, I think the Browns have to be the only team that didn't break double-digit points against the Bengals defense. Oh, no. The Giants were the only other team. So, congrats. You're in the same realm as the Giants.
Yeah. And it blows my mind, too, because I'm like, what exactly are you trying to achieve if not tanking? Like, please tell me you're not tanking. Just say that out loud to me, so that I can laugh at you, because that's exactly what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah, it made no sense. When I saw that announcement, I was like, that's a joke, because at this point, like, what exactly do you hope to achieve other than something that people will heavily criticize, which is losing intentionally?
Exactly.
So,
and they don't want to say they're losing intentionally, because now Myles Garrett is like, hey, I'm not sticking around for a rebuild. So the moment you come out and say it, Myles Garrett's like, trade me. So it's literally just like, it's like a game of chicken. Like, who's going to say it first? Who's going to demand the trade or say we're rebuilding first? So it just makes absolutely no sense. Bengals still not mathematically eliminated. I do with that information what you will, but
they need a lot of help.
Yes, they do. Titans and Colts, that game was, I mean, it was high scoring and everything. Jonathan Taylor had a stupidly good game, 218 yards and 3 touchdowns. That was just insane. Mason Rudolph, 2 touchdowns, continuously outperforming Will Levis, which, if you're trying to become an NFL quarterback, you don't want to hear this phrase, Mason Rudolph outperformed you.
And yet here Will Levis is.
Yes. I will give him the best meme creator in the NFL. I will give him that title. That should be an NFL award.
By a fucking mile. Man is out here delivering comedic situations to us for free. Every week.
Then, I have to bring up this one. Let's see. Where's the video here? Here we go.
Oh, boy.
When you score the first touchdown of the game, and it's your only touchdown of the game. After dropping the dumbest and the most boring documentary of all time, you do this.
Green Bay, and now with the Jets, Devontae Adams. Green Bay.
Because what in the fuck was that dance move?
And just to make this clear for everyone, they lost this game.
That 6 points is the only 6 points they scored in this. Or no, I think they had 9. I'm sorry. They got a field goal.
All right, I've said this before on this podcast, and I'm going to say it again really loud. Fuck Aaron Rodgers.
Yes. And I think that is a sentiment that literally everyone at this point agrees with, especially, I don't know, for anyone out there, if you haven't seen it, please go look up Ryan Clark just absolutely ethering Aaron Rodgers from this existence. Did I send that to you? I forget.
Can you do it now? Can you find that? And
I'll find
play
it.
Because we could just play it and it'll be really funny because I love everything that involves shitting on that sad excuse of a human being's existence.
Oh, I agree. I will say, just as a heads up, it is a little long.
I give a fuck.
But I will also say that it is 100% worth it. But it all stems from when Ryan Clark and a bunch of people were criticizing Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers decided to say, oh, well, you should ask what their vax status is, because the only people criticizing me are the vaccinated criticizing me for being unvaccinated. And I was like, how did you get from point A to B? Because that makes no fucking sense. He thinks that all these people are being paid by Moderna and everything to criticize him, which is just the most outlandish statement that I've ever heard.
Don't do drugs, kids.
But here is what Ryan Clark had to say.
Knew it was me. Here is why I called Aaron Rodgers, or why I called you a hypocrite. Because you're actually on ESPN talking about my fellow colleagues and the people I work with, saying that now, because they are former players and one as greatest players of you as you were, you feel like, or they feel like they're the stars. And that's not it. TV has changed. It's more about opinion and the informed opinion of people who have played the game. What's hypocritical about what you said is you said it while on TV with Pat McAfee, who has done an amazing job with this platform. And even though he was an all-pro punter, he's now extremely famous and more well-known for what he does in his post-career. Even more hypocritical of you is that you're sitting across from 3 people who have never played the game. And they are also entitled to talk about football in a very informed way, because if we've learned anything from Mina Kimes, you don't actually have to step on the field to be excellent at the job of analyzing football. And I spoke to that hypocrisy because you were getting paid to do that, which Pat said you deserve to. And that is why you received the money that you did, at least initially, because of what you brought to his platform. Now, let me be clear, because I know you want us to list these things. My name is Ryan Clark. Played 13 years in the NFL, been to 2 Super Bowls. I have as many rings as you do. I was the captain of 2 separate football teams. I'm also an Emmy winner. I'm also the co-host, owner, and partner of an Emmy-nominated podcast called The Pivot. Now, I know something else you were very interested in was my vaccination status. And yes, I'm vaxxed because I have no spleen, I have no gallbladder, because of playing in Denver and being willing to go back, honestly, and play again. Because I've been in those locker rooms and I've talked to people that have been in the locker rooms with you. I have the stories. I have all the things that they said that informed my opinion of who you are. And as far as your vaccination status, so you can stop trying to trick people into thinking that we want to talk about that above the stink of your film, I've never heard it one more time after your incident. And the only reason we spoke about it then was because based on your vaccination status, it was going to determine how long you were out. And also, people didn't care that you weren't vaccinated. They cared that you were slimy about it. They cared that you were deceitful about it. And they cared that you had this air of arrogance when answering the questions about it. And you've kind of only been the only person that's talked about it since. But let me be very, very clear. My job is to analyze you. You've decided to analyze me. And in analyzing you, what I know is your QBR is 21st. Also know that you're the quarterback of a 4-10 team who has to win the last 3 games of the season to even be equal to what last year's team was without you. Now, I get it. You get on the show and you talk about my brooch and you curse and all this tough talk. I just need you to know, don't none of that scare me. I'm going to do my job the way I'm supposed to do it. I feel no way about not being able to talk about what the film says because of what my career was. And if you continue to be arrogant or smug or hypocritical, and it pertains to my job, I'm going to do it. And I want to remind you again, I'm Ryan Clark, 13 years, Emmy winner, host of an Emmy-nominated podcast. And speaking of that jealousy and guest stuff, The Rock, Kevin Hart, Mike Tomlin, Devontae Adams, Joe Burrow, Shaq, just to name a few. No money, just relationships, conversations, and respect. It's what I tried to give you. And we'll keep it that way as long as you want it like that. Appreciate you. Wanted to make
just how calm, how calculated, how everything. And during that, we got this comment here from, I mean, I don't know if that's your actual name or not, but Laverf. He says, Aaron is who he is. Still don't understand why people care about who he is being him. The thing is, we don't take it personally about who Aaron Rodgers is and Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers. The thing is, when you present yourself, by the way, Sixers win. Just throwing that out there, 111-106. If anyone watching is wondering why we're pointing it out, please just go back to the beginning of this because it was a shit show. But we don't take it personally, like with Aaron being Aaron. The thing is, the thing I never like, and I will always hate, is when people think they are above others, when in reality, they're nowhere close to being above others. They're not. And like he thinks he's smarter than other people. He thinks he knows better than other people. He thinks literally the world of himself over other people. And the moment he gets criticized, they have to be paid off to criticize him. He also brought up the people that don't play football that criticize him, saying like, oh, you have to be able to play football to criticize me. Literally every excuse under the sun to be able to criticize him. Yet here he is. From my point of view, why does he get to criticize people about vaccinations? I don't see him as an immunologist. Has he ever studied immunization ever in his life, in his school life?
He's gone on ayahuasca retreats and darkness retreats. And
exactly.
Had failed relationships with every beautiful woman he's ever been with. Clearly had failed relations with every fucking coach he's ever had. Outside of a coach that's not even his coach anymore. He's arrogant to a degree I don't know that I've experienced, even just witnessing a human being. And that's why, like, I will say it every fucking chance I get, I hate Aaron Rodgers. And I understand your comment, Laverf. I understand it. However, I love saying it out loud, so I'm just going to keep doing it because it feels great to acknowledge the fact that this dude is just scum that gets to get paid a fuck ton of money on a 4-10 team that he was supposed to save and is actually worse than Zach Wilson. And that is the best bit of fucking relief I've ever had in my life, is that Zach Wilson is riding a bench. But if he was with the Jets, just rewind a year, they're better with him than they are without him. Because just the Jets as a franchise too, because their owner is such a fucking clown.
Oh, super clown.
We could go down that rabbit hole, but we might run out of time. But yeah. Madden ratings, that's all I'll say. Just insanity. So, yeah, I will never, ever not call that dude a clown. And just the fact that Ryan Clark, I love Ryan Clark because how he always just carries himself in any media, any form, anything. Like on his podcast, he is just such a good dude. I remember seeing him. Exactly. And that's the point, right? That's the whole point, is you have been given this platform, or you have put yourself in a position to have this platform. In Ryan's case, you've built this podcast. It is such a good podcast. And you don't talk about shit that's trivial. You talk about shit that matters. And he just keeps himself composed. And I saw a clip this past week, and I teared up genuinely when he was on with he was a guest on something with Ocho Cinco, and he gave him that painting of him and Taylor, and it was just like, oh my god, like Sean Taylor? I'm like, how do you not cry seeing that?
Right?
How do you not? Because just his reaction too. He opens it and just looks up at Chad and just is like, you can tell he's fighting it, and it's just like, I'm going to listen to that guy 100 out of 100 times before I ever listen to Aaron Rodgers and take any of that as fact. You know what I mean? It's just, and that is what it is. And that's why I'm just, I don't like the guy. I think the Jets made, and it's clear, like if Woody had a say in bringing him in, he is 100% the reason for that franchise's downfall. He didn't want to bring Judy in because of his fucking Madden rating. Just the clown culture, clown franchise, and I will enjoy watching them suffer because they shouldn't be if they had any brain whatsoever, but here we are. So,
yep. Completely agree. That's really the only breath I'm going to give them. So, I will bring this up real quick. This was actually 2 weeks ago, our picks. We are now 3 games apart from each other.
Yeah, because I keep shitting the fucking bed, bro.
Well, I will say some of the picks you made on this one were definitely more like you wanted them to win rather than you thought they would win.
I know. Well, the Jags over the Jets, I think we just discussed exactly why I did that.
Exactly.
We thought the Dolphins over Houston was possible just because the Dolphins had been solid in the warmer weather, especially indoors. Right. Steelers, their defense had been really good. The Eagles, we knew their winning streak would come to an end. We thought it would be then. It was in fact this week. Right. Instead, you had Buffalo. I love that for you. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think it was going to happen the way it did, but
no, that game was insanity. But
yeah,
I mean it.
And of course, I had to pick against Arizona.
We both picked against Dallas because fuck Dallas. Like even if you're a Ravens fan, fuck Dallas. And credit to the Cowboys. They've been playing better as of late, but
true. Still,
it's like it was Carolina's one really like kind of poor showing recently. Right. So yeah, like it all makes sense. Like if you analyze, like if you were to just be like, yeah, this is why we did this. Because even the Seattle pick, like they had been playing well, they have a good potent offense, and they didn't show up. So,
yeah. So with that being said, let's jump over to our power rankings because we definitely have some updates to make on this after a while.
Oh god.
So let me grab that.
We need a new category that's just specifically for the Jets, and I'm trying to think up what the hell it's going to be because.
I mean, we can move the Giants up one and leave the Jets.
I mean, I know, but I don't know if a Kensington crack house is as bad as I want for them. They need to be punished.
I got it.
All right, go ahead. I'm waiting. You're cooking. I'm waiting. You get 2 rations per week. No more ration for you. You eat your food, you starve. Okay. Welcome, North Korea. My name Kim Jong-un. Fuck you. Good. I love it. This is excellent. That is exactly where they belong.
Oh, Lord.
10 out of 10.
Oh, man. Yeah. So,
all right. Falcons, I don't give a shit what they did this week. They played the Giants. They need to move down because the franchise as a whole cannot figure out what they're doing. And I know it's crazy because they're tied for a division lead, but it is literally like we just agreed like they are just not on the same level as Tampa as far as going forward from here, even just year to year. Like it's just not even close.
Jaguars have to move down.
Thank you. Chicago. They haven't won a game since Nam. I don't know.
I mean, that is true. Let's see. Their last win was against the Jaguars.
That isn't saying much in their support.
Which was week 6.
It is. Let me just check my watch real quick that I'm not wearing. It's week 17, 16 now. It's going into 17. Yeah, we can go ahead and I think maybe move them down. The Saints are down 21-0. If anybody cares,
true.
Maybe them.
I will move the Ravens back up to Super Bowl contender.
Fine with that. Do we want to put the Steelers in playoff teams now then? Because they lost 2 straight.
We can move them down. I agree with that.
Broncos can move down 1. Just because they've lost a couple, they really should have won this game.
I do think we move Minnesota back up.
Oh yeah, tied at 13-2 is horrifying.
Yeah,
level of record there. And if you really look at the situation of the NFL right now, those are the 6 teams that most people are really discussing. Right. And I know we didn't really want to like just be like everybody else, but the truth is when it goes to like Super Bowl contenders, you're going to have a short list. And if everybody's thinking similarly, the list should be the same. Hey, look, it's Ryan Clark on my screen on ESPN.
Hey,
love it. With Jason Kelsey, who's wearing a Santa fucking outfit because of course he is.
I do think we moved down Seattle. They've lost 2 in a row.
Arizona down immediately. Get them out.
They go down 2.
Thank you. Can we just, for the sake of Bryce Young, can we put Carolina in mid? Since he's come back, they've been awesome. They've been awesome.
I'm moving San Fran down.
Yep. I think even the Dolphins could move down again. It depends on how you feel.
I feel like they did get a little bit better when Tua came back. Now,
true.
I mean, they did also win this past week.
I know. I just can't. They frustrate me the same way Arizona frustrates you because they have.
Oh, I agree.
Like obviously, Tua being out for so long was a huge deal. Like we're not going to downgrade that. Like that is the reason for sure their record is what it is.
Right.
But they just piss me off because that team has it has been so long since that team was good, like actually good to a point where they made the playoffs and then won a game and made something out of it.
Right.
So I guess we can leave them in mid for now because they're just about 500, which is what mid should be.
I will move the Colts up 1 just because like teams like the Raiders and the Falcons and stuff, like they are severely on the decline, whereas like the Colts are just they're underperforming, but they're not like they're 7-8 right now.
But that's what's crazy, right? Is if in our mindsets, the Colts have the same record as the Dolphins.
That's true.
And that like hurts my head because I'm like, how?
Right.
How is that happen? Because I just look at talent level on a roster, top to bottom, and the Dolphins shit on the Colts to me.
You know what? I will move the Dolphins down because I just looked and the Colts have scored more points than the Dolphins this season. So, yeah, I will move the Dolphins down to ass.
I refuse to move Tampa because I think they are the team in that division to make it. I mean, obviously Penix could win the last two, and Tampa has to earn that shit.
I mean,
Tampa's better, but it's just that simple to me. So
I could move Tampa to mid just because, like, this loss to the Cowboys was pretty bad. And that was literally after beating the Chargers 40-17.
All right, so Tampa's got Panthers and Saints. Atlanta, if I can find their ass, because somehow they're on Sunday Night Football against the fucking Commanders. They have Commanders and Panthers. So realistically, Atlanta has the better shot to lose here.
True.
Which would still fit our ranking. Even if you move into mid, Tampa's still the highest in that division, which would still fit. So if you do see that is needed, then go for it.
I think we moved them to mid, but I agree that they're still the team in that division.
Yeah. I think Washington, we have to realistically move up.
Yes.
Regardless of anything.
Oh, and I'm moving the Raiders down one.
Yeah, I don't care that they won. They just shot themselves in the foot. So fuck them. They're like, oh, we had the number one pick. We literally had the number one pick, and now we're 6th.
Yeah.
We could have had Sanders, and now we ain't got Sanders. So good job. Morons.
I think we moved Cincinnati up to mid.
That's fair.
Because they do have, for a team that's given up almost 400 points, they are still a positive point diff.
They currently have the second longest winning streak in the AFC behind the Chiefs.
That too. And they have scored they've scored the third most points in the entire AFC.
Yep. And here's what's mind-blowing. The Chiefs are 5th.
Yeah.
Fuck the Chiefs. They got saved again. And I'm not even going to go into it because I'd really rather not punch multiple expensive electronic items. I want the playoffs to get here soon so that I can watch a team that is just absolutely better than them, bend them over, and shove the longest fucking like spiky stick up their ass so they are revealed to the world as the frauds they are. That's where we're at.
Denver has a better point diff than Kansas City.
And the records are so different, it's scary.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tampa Bay is only 3 points, has a 3 fewer point diff than Kansas City.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I look at the way this list is, right? The Lions are a plus 194, which is insane. Eventually, the injuries are going to catch them. They have to. It's just not possible for them not to. And obviously, David Montgomery now, it's like that's a huge one.
Oh,
that's a big deal. Did it matter this weekend? No, because it was the Bears. If they play somebody competent, it'll matter.
Which that's why they do next week.
But that's why this Vikings game when they have it is this the biggest deal ever. They play the Niners next week, which, let's be real, is not that serious. Like, obviously, Trent Williams out for the year.
Debo's been terrible.
Debo's such a joke. The Vikings game is the big one. So it'll be first and second on point diff facing each other for the division win, most likely in the final game of the year. And the 1 seed, potentially. So,
right. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think
we can move Cleveland down because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They need to be in one of these fucking special categories. Not even super ass. They need to be further down than that. They're just a joke. They're dead last in the AFC in point diff. They have minus 135. Atrocity.
Do we move New England down further because they have lost 5 in a row?
I don't want them to. I don't want to move them because they played a solid game against Buffalo, and Drake May is out here just being a stud. Like, the reason
they do at least look respectable when they lose.
Exactly. Like, that's the biggest thing. It's like they're super ass because even when they're losing, it's not like they're just getting like annihilated all the time. Like, obviously their point diff is what it is because Brissett started enough games that they got shit on. Drake May is out here in games where they're like, he doesn't care what the score is. He's like, I'm just going to scramble, and if I get clobbered, I don't care. He's trying. And I have
they have a rough final 2 games too. I mean, they're both home games, but they play the Chargers and the Bills.
Yeah, they're not having fun. But
no.
Yeah, I look at them and I'm going, okay, there's promise and potential for a future. Whereas some of these other teams, there's too many question marks.
Right.
Because if you're New England right now, you're like, we have our quarterback. Period.
Right.
He can throw, he can run, he reads defenses effectively, and he's throwing to receivers that should be bagging groceries for the most part. It's like he's just out here putting in work. So I don't want to discredit him for his efforts in trying to win when really they shouldn't be trying to win because they need to build that team. But yeah,
yep, I agree. I think it looks good to me right now.
I agree.
Cool. So with that being said, we can move on to our week 17 picks. Now, I will give a heads up. The logos and stuff won't be as clean, and I'll just have to do some moving around while we make our picks because I just didn't have them ready. But
these things happen, man. These things happen.
Exactly.
Technology is not flawless, and neither are we. So,
and boom. So, I will say I hate this week's schedule. We have 2 Wednesday night games for Christmas. We have a Thursday night game. We have 3 Saturday night games, Sunday, and a Monday night.
See, I love this as someone who bets, but as someone who wants to just like chill and watch highlights and games, it's like,
Right. And my thing is, I still think Christmas Day should just be the basketball day. It's always been the basketball day.
I feel exactly the same way.
And it's really annoying personally because the Sixers play at 5 and the fucking Ravens play at 4:30.
Yeah. And I was to say, particularly for you as just a fan. Yeah, I get that.
And on top of that, also, week 17 is usually the championship of fantasy football leagues. So you avoid that last week of people resting. And so now I have to pay attention for fucking like 4 or 5 days to see how my players are playing to see if I win a championship. Like that's just too much stress for no reason. But anyway,
oh fuck, man. This game's in Pittsburgh. Look, you know what? I'm sick of the fucking Chiefs. I will take the L on this. Just give me goddamn Pittsburgh, bro.
I feel you because I was probably going to pick the Steelers as well. because like I just
Dude, actually, I'll say it exactly like this, and you will agree with me 100%. The best Christmas gift you could fucking give me is the fucking Chiefs losing. Please give me that. And I know you're a Ravens fan, and the Steelers losing would be really helpful. I don't fucking care. I am so goddamn
I
sick
don't
of
either.
the Chiefs.
I told my wife, and I was like, look, I want you guys to win. I want the Steelers to fucking beat the Chiefs. So please just beat the Chiefs. I'm going the Ravens, to be honest.
So am I. I am too. I just don't see with Tank Dell hurt now. I really hope he heals up properly because holy shit, that was gruesome. That man has been through a lot in a calendar year. Dude's been shot. Dude's had a fucking torn ACL, and dude's had his knee just look like that.
That was really rough to watch.
Like, come back strong, my guy, because they need you.
And if Deontay Johnson actually plays, like, I hope, like, fucking somebody lays him out.
Oh, I hope Marlon Humphrey gets ejected from the game for murder. Like,
yeah, like
what a pussy Deontay Johnson is. What an absolute pussy.
And it was funny because when Deontay Johnson first left the Steelers, my wife was even like, I don't know why anyone would want him. He's a diva. And I was like, you know, like he has done some things and like said some shit in the media and everything. But I was like, I don't know. Maybe he just needed to change of scenery. He went to Carolina and like it didn't seem like he raised hell that much in Carolina. And then gets traded to the Ravens. And I'm like, oh, I mean, you know, as a third receiver, why not? And then this whole thing goes through. And I was like, you know what? You're fucking right.
Yeah. Because I'm just sitting here. I mean, literally, I'm sitting here. I'm like, you have a team as good as Baltimore and you don't want to play for them?
Right.
Like, what the fuck do you need, dude?
It's like the dude from San Fran, Campbell, that refused to go in the game. Like,
yeah.
What? Like, the San Fran defense is the biggest part of San Fran. And you got upset that fucking, what's his name was playing over you, which he was expected to in the first place, but he was just hurt.
Because he's better than you.
Right.
Like, it's just that simple. Like, if you can't accept that, like you're still getting paid, dude. And now you're not, because nobody's going to want you now.
Exactly.
Like, why would they? Your attitude's that bad? That's just cancerous. No locker room worth anything is going to want you in there.
Yeah. And it's like, to be real, like Deontay Johnson could not have thought he was going to come into Baltimore and all of a sudden be the top target over Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers.
Or even Isaiah Likely.
Or
Rashad
Likely.
Bateman.
And honestly, Bateman's been great.
Yeah. But they've put in the time, like they've put in the effort, and you're just going to show up and somehow just walk in and be like, fuck you.
Yeah.
That's just, no chance, bro.
Agreed. So that brings us to the Thursday night game, which is Seattle at Chicago. And I feel like we're both going to go Seattle in this one.
We are.
Yeah.
Like Chicago could win this game just because Seattle, they're another team. It's like you don't actually know what you're going to get from them. But they're better than Chicago. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think.
Like, pretty easily.
Yeah. They actually utilize the weapons that they have, even though they didn't this weekend, which is why they lost. But here we are.
Yep. So then we get to the Saturday games. And that starts with the Chargers at the Patriots, which I feel like I know we're both going to go Chargers.
Yeah. Because it's just, I mean, like, as much as I literally will always love Drake May, it's just he doesn't have any, outside of Ramondre, he's got really nothing to work with. And Hunter Henry's having a great year. Let me not discredit Hunter Henry.
True.
And technically, this is a Hunter Henry revenge game. So if I'm doing prop bets, I'm definitely choosing him. But the Chargers have a lot to fight for here. Like, it's way more meaningful for them. So, like, they are currently, as it stands, on the outside of a playoff position. Or they're like probably the last one, but there's teams fighting for their spot in particular. So it matters. So they have
Right.
to show up and they have to win this game.
This one is interesting to me. So
this
we
one's
have
extremely interesting, and I'm going to give you my answer immediately. Denver.
okay. Yeah, I was about to say we have Denver at Cincinnati, and I think I was leaning towards Denver a little bit as well. But
Well-
I will say,
Do you want the key stat? You ready?
all right, hit me.
Cincinnati 5-3 on the road, 2-5 at home, and this is in Cincinnati.
I didn't realize their home record was that bad. Which is kind of surprising because I feel like usually they're decent at home. But yeah, I think I will go with my gut and go with the Broncos. I was gonna say Bengals just for the sake of finally being different on some picks here, but my gut is definitely saying Denver on this one. And I still will just never trust the Cincinnati defense. Arizona at the Rams. You know my pick.
Oh, yeah. And unfortunately, we're going to be the same because fuck the Cardinals.
Yeah. Especially because now the Cardinals, although I will say I gave this some thought, the Cardinals are eliminated now. And I would be like, that would be very fucking Cardinals of them to then finally play the way that they were expected to now that they're eliminated.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bank on that. And yeah, I'm taking the Rams as well. Dallas at the Eagles. I'm not fucking picking Dallas.
Neither am I, because Hurts should play.
He should play. He should be like pissed off from like because they definitely would have won with him this week.
Yeah.
And so
and everybody knows it who has a brain.
Exactly. And it's at home.
Yeah. There's no way you lose a second shot at a division clincher against your biggest rival in your own building. No chance. I refuse to believe. This next one's easy as fuck too. We don't even need to.
Yep.
Yeah,
Both
we don't
going
even
Bills.
need no talking needed at all.
And then it gets to the shit show.
Holy shit.
The Raiders at the Saints.
It would be the Dennis Allen and Derek Carr revenge game if they both weren't either hurt or fired. But here we are. Bummer, dude. Give me the Raiders.
I'm just gonna take the Saints for the sake of just something different.
Fair, because the Saints look so fucking trash right now on my iPad. Right, they're horrible. Holy shit! Learn how to tackle, guys.
The Saints are terrible, and I wish I wasn't picking them, but I'm just saying, fuck it at this point. So yeah, there's just that. Which takes us to the Colts at the Giants.
Yikes. Part of me was like, let me just say the Giants because, yeah, but after what Taylor just did. And the Giants' run defense is just completely diminished. I have to just say the Colts.
Yeah, that's how I felt. I would definitely agree with that.
Nice throw, Jordan Love. It was only 5 yards short and at a man's feet, and you had no pressure on you. Good job, buddy.
I did want to say something. You just reminded me. The fact that the media wanted to suck Josh Allen's dick after throwing that interception into the end zone. They claimed it was an arm punt instead of an interception.
What is an arm punt? That's not a thing, dude.
No. And it's only a thing if you're throwing it to the defense on a 4th down where they would have gotten better field position if you missed. It was a 3rd down. So it was like if he missed, they don't get the ball. That's not like the literal definition of a punt. That's not it.
Yeah.
So the fact that they said that just to keep him in the MVP race with Lamar, I'm like, if you're going to come up with something, at least don't be blatantly stupid.
Exactly.
I just wanted to bring that up. But so Carolina at Tampa Bay.
I think I have to pick Tampa because this is a must win.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I can't believe they didn't have Bucky Irving out there at the end of the game this week. I just truly did not understand that. I'm bouncing back and forth with picking Carolina. I feel like I've picked Carolina a good bit this season just because I want them to win. But I have to go with Tampa Bay too. I feel like this week is a lot of obvious ones until you get to Las Vegas, New Orleans, and then now this one, Tennessee at Jacksonville.
Yeah, because what the actual well, you know what? Actually, I'm just gonna say Tennessee because they were really behind in that game against the Colts, and they made it like the score ended up closer than it ever should have been.
True.
And I just think like Jacksonville's defense is so bad. It's so bad.
Also true.
So I have to take Tennessee.
I'm going Mac Daddy.
Fair enough. I can't hate it because it makes sense.
Miami at Cleveland.
If it was Jameis, I'd be like Cleveland, but it's not Jameis because their franchise is fucking stupid. So I'm going to go Miami.
Yeah, I can't in good faith pick Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Yeah, DTR is not about to come out here and do anything ever against anyone. I don't care what their defense is. They just played the Bengals and he looked like shit, and the Bengals literally make everyone look good. So,
and Miami's defense actually is decent. Like, they're not a bad defense.
No, they're not that bad at all. And they're injury riddled again, and they're still playing well.
Exactly. So now we finally get to a more difficult game. Green Bay at Minnesota.
Shit, son. That's a game.
Which somehow isn't the Sunday night or Monday night.
Yeah, they're like, no, Atlanta, Washington.
And
Penix
Detroit
versus Jaden Daniels. Penix versus Daniels is definitely what we want to see rather than a fucking divisional thing where one team's fighting for a 1 seed and one team is fighting to clinch a playoff spot. Let's ignore that.
Even if it was Kirk Cousins, I don't care about Kirk Cousins' revenge game because he's 2 teams removed from Washington.
Yeah, precisely. So this shit needs to be flexed ASAP.
I will say I'm going Vikings.
Okay, and I'm going Green Bay.
All right.
Yeah. They're playing flawless football right now.
Green Bay?
They're playing really well. And I know it's the Saints, but I don't care. It's the Saints, and I don't care. It's in Minnesota. It's an indoor stadium. I'm not going to pretend their stupid skull bullshit is somehow going to sway this crap. It's not.
I agree.
Packers are cooking. They're cooking right now. So
Atlanta at Washington. I'm taking Washington.
You know what? I'll make this one spicy too. Just because the NFL has made no fucking sense at all, and Washington should win this game. Atlanta.
Okay.
Because you know what I mean. Like that's how the NFL's been this year.
I mean, it's very true. And honestly, if Penix can get this win over Washington and Jaden Daniels, it would really make him look good.
Well, here's just a fact. This is just a fact. The first win for Jaden Daniels against a winning team was yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see if he can do it 2 weeks in a row.
And then I'm taking Detroit over San Fran.
Same. We can't get spicy here. San Fran sucks.
Yep.
Rams are winning that division.
Bye.
The end. So, yeah.
If I can find the damn, there it is. Cool. There is week 17. Week 18 might be fun just because there could be people resting.
Well, there's going to be resting, and then there's going to be games that are like everything is what I think is going to happen.
Yeah, and then
It's
there's
gonna
going to
be a
be
fun
there's
mix.
going to be tanking teams that are like, fuck it, let's throw in the third string quarterback.
Signed off the practice squad this week. It's Chad Smith. You've never heard of him, and there's a reason for that. Like, yeah, I see that coming too.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So
see what the
that leaves us with the immaculate grid.
Yep. So let me bring it up. See what we got going here.
Oh, I will say real quick, who's your MVP pick? Is it Saquon?
It's Saquon or Lamar.
Okay.
Those are the only two that really make sense in my head because I'm just like, Lamar's numbers are unbelievable. The first bad pick he threw the entire season was this past week, and it was week 16. Like, it took that long for him to throw one that was actually really his fault. But then you look at the difference that Saquon has given the Eagles as a whole team. And then just thinking going forward, it's like Goddard should be healthy for the playoffs. Hurts will be healthy for the playoffs, barring something happening these last 2 weeks. The O-line's in good spot. The defense obviously like had their issues this week, but it's because they were on the field so much more than normal because Pickett sucks. So like there's a lot of different factors that go into it. Yeah, that's
cool. Just wanted to make sure because I agree. And
like do I
like Josh Allen? Josh Allen should be up there. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Josh Allen shouldn't be in consideration. However, I just have a hard time putting him above Lamar and Saquon in terms of everything.
I mean, it's just numbers, and you look at the numbers just between Lamar and Josh. Like, it's just not close. Like, it's really not close.
And I mean, Joe Burrow has better numbers, honestly, than Josh Allen does.
Yeah, but they'll never even think about him because the team's losing, even though it's not his fault that the team is losing.
Exactly.
So
if Burrow wasn't on that team, they'd be like a 2-win team.
At most, like 2 wins is almost even like a gift.
Exactly.
So we got Packers, Rams, Ravens down the left side. Ooh. We got Saints, Jags, first team AP All Pro up top.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna need the most obscure first teamer for the Ravens you've ever imagined.
Well, you know,
Saragusa.
If he didn't get a pick 6 this past game, I would have said Marlon Humphrey.
Yeah, but exactly, he's on everybody's radar now.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, I'll have to think of a good one for that.
Okay, I know the most. It's not the most obvious, but I think it would be the most obvious. There's 2. For Packers Saints is Jimmy Graham.
Mm-hmm.
And Marquez Valdez-Scantling because he's playing in this game.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. I already know the Ravens All Pro. Morgan Cox.
Holy fuck! All right. 0.1. It's a banger.
He's the long snapper.
Oh my god. Hell yes. Hell yes.
I was like, I'm pretty sure he's been an All Pro already.
Love that. Oh, that's great. Okay, the most obvious for Saints Ravens is Mark Ingram.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know about Jags Ravens though. I don't know the interaction there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of that one. That one's actually kind of difficult. Didn't Malcolm Jenkins, was he only Saints and Eagles?
Yeah, because he went Saints, Eagles, Saints, retired.
That's right. Okay. Actually, for Saints and Ravens, there was also hold on. I have to look this one up. Yeah, Marcus Williams.
Oh, I know that name.
Yep. I mean, he got benched this year.
Is he the CB that he's the CB that gets cooked, right?
Yeah, the safety. Yeah.
Should I do it?
I mean, he's a current one, so I don't know if people are going to know him as much. I mean, he's a very generic name. Like Marcus Williams is just a generic name.
Oh, picked by Spencer Rattler. Oh boy.
Boy.
Oh no. Green Bay first team All Pro. I feel like the amount of names that are choosable here is actually unbelievable. And I'm going to check one to see if he ever was one because he's my boy and I need to know.
Oh, that wasn't even like that pass was literally straight to the defense.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was not good. At all. Not good at all.
No.
Fuck. He never. God. Fuck you, player. I hate you. I'm not going to say your name. Asshole. I hate it. Why were you not first team? Son of a bitch.
Which one were you doing? Rams or Packers?
Packers.
Oh. Rams, I'm going to say. Did they have to be an All-Pro while they're on the Rams or just in general?
With the team.
Okay. Then I'm going to say, what was that tight end's name? Let me think. There's a tight end from the Rams I'm thinking of. That was like a while back. Let me see. What was it?
I mean, how far back are we going here?
Like mid 2000s? When they were St. Louis still? Let me check this one. Nope. The Rams is a tough one because, like, there's a bunch of obvious ones.
Yeah.
But
okay. I mean, I have one that's just like free. That's an older guy. If you want me to do that, was the name
Who's the older guy?
Jack Youngblood.
Oh, okay.
That's the name that just immediately came to my head when I saw it because I was like, he's old enough that maybe people won't do it.
Right. Great
2%. 2% W.
Yeah, that's just a great name.
5 times. 5 times. First team All-Pro.
That's insane.
3 times second. Yeah. I mean, literally one of the best defensive ends in the history of football. I mean, Green Bay, same deal. They have a million, but it's just a matter of thinking about, like, this is what I literally looked up. Jordy Nelson was the name I was looking. I was pissed off because he was second team twice.
Yeah, that's annoying.
And I was like, you bitch, you couldn't just do it one time.
Hold
up. I got a thought. I need to know. Piece of shit. Okay.
What about what's his name? Was Mason Crosby ever first team? No, he wasn't. Never mind.
All right, I got a name, and I'm just going to do it because he was only at one time. 6%. I'll take that. Clay Matthews.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize he was only one time. That's honestly kind of surprising.
Yeah, and it was like, hold on, let me see the year. It was 2010, so the Super Bowl year, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so Ravens Saints. We obviously know Mark Ingram. There was somebody else I feel like that came over to play with the Ravens that also played with Mark Ingram at the Saints. But I'm just not thinking of his name. I know for a fact.
Oh my God.
The
Hold
Ravens
on.
had a wide receiver that was also on the Saints.
I just thought of one, and I don't know if you're going to stop me from doing it because I have to.
Oh God.
Nope, not there. Here we go. Ravens Saints. Ricky Williams.
Oh yeah, that
Bang.
that does also work. I was
literally,
gonna say
as soon as you said Ravens Saints out loud again, I was like, wait a minute, didn't Ricky Williams like end his career as a Raven for no reason? Just out of nowhere.
But yeah, I know there was a wide receiver that played for both as well.
Alan Hearns? Did he ever touch the field for Ravens?
I don't think so.
Because I know he ended up so many places after the Jags, too. But I'm trying to think of Saints receivers, too, and it's hard. Like Colston, I don't think did it. Oh God, is it Willie Snead?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
There it is.
Yep.
83 popped in my head, and I was like, "Wait a minute, I know that guy."
Yep. Let's see.
Is Ravens Jags Dilfer or Garrard?
Dilfer did not play a game for the Jags. Garrard? Garrard was Jags his entire career.
Okay, how about Leftwich then?
I don't know if he ever came to the Ravens. No, he went to the Steelers.
There's so many shitty QBs the Jags had that I'm like, where'd they end up? Because they weren't anywhere long.
Leftwich went to the Steelers. Was in the division, but for some reason in my head I'm seeing a defensive back. Oh, wait, let me fact check myself.
Okay, I have one. I'm just gonna do one for Jags Rams. It's probably gonna ruin our percentage, but it hit me and I gotta do it. Allen Robinson.
Yep, I got one. You'll know too. Ronald Darby.
Fucking A. Super Bowl winner for the Eagles. 0.6 W. Packers. Fucking.
The Packers ones are difficult because I feel like I never really pay attention to the Packers roster. But haven't they had a couple tight ends that literally bounce between everywhere?
I think so.
Like not Bubba Franks, but who's the old ass dude that they had? He's still playing. You know what I'm talking about? The old ass tight end.
Well, they've had so many. They had like Jared Cook for so long.
But I mean, like the one who's like currently playing still right now, and he's been in the league for like he's like 37 or something. Not Martellus Bennett, damn it. He's got like a long name like that too, and it's really bothering me that I can't think of his name. Oh, why can't I think of this name? Mercedes Lewis. He's been everywhere. He's Green Bay, Jacksonville.
Okay.
It's MAR.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Mercedes. We have to be different. 42. Holy Christ.
Well, that's my bad.
That's fine. I'm shocked by that amount of people that were like, yeah, it's got to be him. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. He was drafted in 2006.
Oh, yeah. He's a fucking Iron Man. Saints, Packers.
Saints, Packers. Saints, Packers.
Might have one for Saints, Rams.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. 1 second. I will confirm or deny this immediately. Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just doing it because I love being right. Brandon Cooks, 69. That's perfect. I'm glad I chose that. 69's a W. Hell yeah.
Damn, Saints, Packers.
There's probably an obvious one.
There probably is.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, well, yeah, the obvious one I already said, which fucking what's his forehead? The Jimmy Graham, but
Yeah. I was going to say Thomas Morstead, but he did not play for the Packers. He played for the Jets 3 separate times.
What a suspect choice of career. Why would you do that to yourself? You want to just do MVS?
MVS is definitely the easiest answer, I think.
I know, but I'm just
trying to think of like a last second.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a running back that probably did. But
hold up. Nope. Okay.
Nope, not Amon Green.
No, he was Green Bay, Houston.
Yeah. What about? Oh, wait. Let me fact check this one. What about? Where'd he go? I would have had a good one for Saints Jaguars. Mark Brunell.
Ooh, I knew there was a goddamn quarterback somewhere in the shit.
Yeah.
That was like living in my head from one of these teams.
Oh, and I just thought of a Saints Rams. Robert Meacham.
Oh, yeah, that would have been a winner.
Where is? No, that's not who I was thinking of. Neither. Stumbled upon another Saints Rams. John Carney, the kicker.
Oh my god, that's a name I haven't heard in so long. What the heck, bro? But I remember that name. I remember him.
Yeah, that name sticks out.
He was good. Saints Packers sucks.
Yeah, it does. Wow.
It's going to be some D tackles that literally just aren't memorable. That's exactly where my head's at. Or like O linemen, where you're like, who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it'll be guards, not tackles, so you don't hear about them. That's probably exactly what it is. Hold on. Okay. That's all right. There's one more current player. Oh, apparently Mark Brunell works for this one too. Fun fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah, apparently. Because he threw 6 passes for the Packers. And
I didn't.
4 passes for the Saints.
I was going to say, I didn't even know he was on the Packers at all.
That's amazing. Ty Montgomery is another more recent but not current because he's given up football, I think.
I see.
Jared Cook, mentioned him before. He works.
Oh, yeah. Ravens Saints would have been Dante Stallworth.
Ooh.
I forgot about that one, too.
Banger. What position was this guy? Hold up. No, okay, not him. I'm trying to find a dude who was legit an O lineman or a D lineman. Okay, hold on.
There is either a punter or kicker in my head, though. That played
I don't
for.
Care. We're going Jerry Boyarski for 0.02% because I saw his name and said yes. Bang.
I'm just annoyed, though, because I know there's either a punter or kicker.
Oh, there's got to be somewhere.
Played for both.
Hold on. Let me give me one moment here. Give me just one moment.
And it's killing me.
Punters for Packers and Saints.
Unless I'm just not thinking of the right people.
There was a punter apparently who was signed as an undrafted guy in 2022 for the by the Saints, Daniel Whalen, but he never punted, so it doesn't count. But he's the current punter for the Packers. So literally, like if he had punted one time for the Saints, it would count.
Damn it!
I know. And it like, but that's as current as it gets too. Like nobody would ever guess that, but it literally, like, it would work if he had punted literally once. That's brutal.
Well, never mind then.
Yeah, you tried. It's fine.
Yeah, we still got the grid, so
we did.
That's what matters.
It is.
But we got some solid ones in there too. 0.02, 0.6, 0.1, 2.
Big facts.
I'm assuming Brandon Cooks and Mercedes Lewis were the top answers for those ones.
I feel like they had to be. 69 is so high. Nobody, obviously, it's over the 50 mark, so it has to be.
Yeah.
Oops. Let's see. I'll see if any of them.
I think if you scroll a little bit.
I was just gonna say, literally, if on the Pro Football Reference page there was any name that was like more distinctive.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
right.
And I don't know. I mean, apparently, for Packers and fucking Jags, Tavon Austin would have also been a W. Yeah, those were the two highest.
Interesting.
Calais Campbell for Jags Ravens was the highest. That makes sense.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of Calais Campbell.
Fucking Aaron, I'm a cunt Rodgers up at the top here.
Yep.
The better Aaron Donald, Ray Lewis, obviously. How they not have a fucking photo for Ray Lewis, but they got a picture for fucking these dudes. Mark Ingram in a Texans jersey.
Right.
They don't have a picture of fucking Ray Lewis. Come on now.
Fucking Mercedes Lewis.
Brother.
But not Ray Lewis.
What are we doing?
Like, okay.
Greatest linebacker, literally, like arguably in football history, and you don't have a photo of him? Come on now.
Wow, I completely forgot Devin Duvernay is playing with the Jaguars right now and was drafted by the Ravens. So that would have been another one. But
Okay, fair.
completely forgot about him.
These things happen.
But that is it for us this week. We'll be back again next week with all of the reactions to the stupidest scheduled week of all football.
Easily.
Easily
the dumbest we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's honestly annoying me a lot.
We're literally talking Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Like 5 out of 7 days, there's NFL games. It makes no sense.
It really makes zero sense. But that is it for us. Make sure you guys check us out. If you want to just listen to the audio, we are everywhere you get your podcast. We have our videos on Spotify as well as YouTube. So hit the bell below. It lets you know when we go live. We usually go live every Monday night around 8 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you check that out as well. And we will catch you guys next week. Peace.